I was going to tell you, uh, hope you stick around to the end of this. I'll try to keep it as interesting as possible, and I want to try to talk a little bit faster and get rid of some of that southern drawl. I don't know. I'll work on it. It's kind of a natural thing. When I was raised a Yankee. We lived all over the United States, in Georgia and Oklahoma and Kansas and North Dakota and South Dakota, up in Labrador for 2 years. On the east coast of Canada. And I always kind of talked like a Yankee until we moved back here. And in 1972, Mom and Dad were originally from Russellville. This is where their family was from, and we moved back here. And Dad retired. He was going to retire in '74. He was in the Air Force from '54 to '74. But I always had a Yankee, talk like a Yankee. I guess you guys and let's drink a bottle of pop, or they laughed at me when I first moved back here. But now I've adopted the Southern drawl stuff, and I really enjoy talking that way. It's a lot of fun, so I always go back to it. I guess I don't know. It just seemed like it comes more natural to me. But I try not to do it, if I can keep from it. But it's just built into me, I guess. I've been living in Russellville a lot longer than I've lived anywhere else, even though I've lived a lot of other places. But I was going to tell you just real briefly here, just a few minutes about my son, and his name is Scott. And Scott will be 48 years old this year, and he pulled a lot of stunts on me over the years, especially when he was a lot younger. He learned all this stuff from his mom. I'm not like that. I was such a good kid as I was coming up. I don't think I ever did get in trouble much. I can't remember being whooped too much. Of course, I missed a few that I slipped by with them on. I was a typical boy with my brothers. I was the oldest, and Ron and Dwayne were my younger brothers. One lives in Tuscumbia, one lives in Huntsville, and both of them had just, what I would say, recently retired. I've been retired since 2016. Ended up working 41 years, and I've been encouraging them to retire, and I'm tickled to death they finally have, and they're enjoying life. It don't take long for you to realize that after you retire, the money is good. I mean, when you're working, you're making good money, especially at that age. But doggone it, money ain't everything. It's your time is what's of such a high value. Your freedom to be able to do what you want to. I was talking with my youngest brother Dwayne just a few days ago, and we were talking about him retiring, and he's the most recent. Ron has been retired for a little while now, but Dwayne told me, said Don said it's just so nice when you're thinking about when the weekend's kind of coming to an end, and where you always kind of, even though I love my job, I loved what I did. He said you don't have to think about going back Monday and facing this challenge and that challenge, and I totally agree with him. It was the same way with me. The weekends were great. You work at least 5 days, and some people work 7 days. I know plenty of people that do and have, but you don't, that Friday work's getting over with. Saturday's your day totally, and then Sunday is the Lord's, and no matter what you do on Sunday, you just got 2 days. You got, hopefully your day of rest on Saturday or Sunday. But you're always dreading Monday, always dreading going back to that next shift. And retirement gives you that freedom. And it's just a wonderful thing. I love it. I enjoy it. I'm lazy. I take naps when I want to. I might not sleep as much at night, but if I don't, I'll make it up during the day sometime when I can. And it's up to me. I can do it or not do it. And there I go off on a tangent. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Scotty and a couple of things. I guess that he pulled on me. Of course, he pulled a lot of stuff that I don't know about, and he still hadn't told me about. But we don't want to share too much because he's got a son now that's coming up, and he's 13. And it goes in that old saying that when you tell the kids what you did when you were a kid, and you're the parent, being the mom or dad, you kind of give them permission. Say, hey, mom and dad did it. Why can't I do it? It's anything you do. If you use, folks, on the negative side, if you use profanity, your kids are more likely to use profanity. If you speak eloquently, they'll speak eloquently. If you speak with Southern drawl, you're going to teach them to speak with Southern drawl, no matter what you do. Whether we're kind to people, nice to people, mean to people, whatever we are, those kids most likely now, not in all cases, but most likely they're gonna do what we did. So you might want to always consider that, and that doesn't just fall with the kids; it's with the grandkids too. You know, and you affect the people that are around you, and you will carry responsibility for that. I assure you, you will. But Scott pulled a few things on me. I think one time they always told me about this, but of course I didn't see it when it happened. I was probably working, but I think Scott that Kathy and Heather got in the car with him, and he drove one time. And this tree over my shoulder here, right here, that big tree that's standing there, he was driving in the driveway here and didn't have much experience, and I think he run into that tree with a vehicle, and didn't smash anything or anything that gave me the evidence that he did it, but I think he actually did that, and they didn't tell it to me for many years on down the road, but I'm pretty sure he did that. But let me tell you something, and this is the gist of my video that I've got off on a little bit. I apologize for that, but let me tell you what he pulled one I thought was pretty slick. One of the things our father-in-law, Aubrey Nathaniel Slim Tingle, who worked at Ford and retired from there over in Sheffield, and oh, what a great father-in-law he was. We miss him so dearly. Just a wonderful man. He's from Addison, Alabama, and that's in the free state of Winston. And that's where Kathy never originally from. Now, she was born in Haleville, but she lived in Russellville all her life. But my father-in-law was mother-in-law too, just great people, and we miss them so much, just like we do my parents. You know, they were with us and supported us and helped us as we were coming up, and we were young newlyweds. But he was good about helping us pick up the kids from school, and sometimes he'd take them too. You know, I was working, Kathy was working, we were supporting the kids and paying bills, and just like everybody else does, you know, and he would go and do that for us, and we're so thankful for the help they gave us. But here's something that Scotty pulled on us. We didn't know. I used to play judo quite a bit, and I say play, I practiced. I taught in Florence, taught in Russellville. Really enjoyed the sport. I wished I could do it now, which I could, but I can't risk breaking anything now. But nonetheless, I had hurt my arm somehow, my wrist or something, and got me a wrist brace. And that doggone Scotty, he was in about the 2nd or 3rd grade. Let's see who this is right here. Well, I'm going to have to pause here for a moment. I'll be back with you in just a minute. Now okay, I'm back here. That was Heather coming in with our grand Gabby. And let me get to the meat of the matter. This is the reason you want to stay to the end of the video, because this is what the video is about. Scotty got one of those braces, and Mr. Tingle picked him up from school one day and noticed that, you know, he either had it with him, he had it, and he asked Scotty about it. He said, "Son," said, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just playing with that." He stuck it in his backpack or whatever, you know, kind of ignored the question or evaded it and tried to get by, you know. And so later on, we get a call from one of the teachers or something, and they ask us, and I can't remember the teacher's name. It's been so many years ago. Remember, he's almost 48 now, but they said we want to know how Heather's doing, and said if y'all are doing okay, is everything okay, and everybody healing up and everything. Kathy said, "What are you talking about?" Said, "What?" Said Scotty said y'all had a car accident, and said he's been wearing a brace on his hand. Said he ain't done no work in school for 2 weeks, and said he's been wearing that brace on his hand. So I just following up and trying to find out how everything was. And Kathy says, "I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him." And the teacher didn't know what she's talking about. Heather said that, or Kathy said, I'm sorry. Kathy said, "That's not true. That's not true." Said he's making up the whole thing. That's his daddy's wrist brace, and he's wearing it to get out of work. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. I was aggravated that he was pulling that stunt. But you got to think, he was in 2nd or 3rd grade. You got to think the boy was innovative. I mean, he thought with that head, and he says, "If I wear this to school," said, "I won't have to write and do a bunch of stuff and a bunch of work at school that I don't want to do." Said, "They'll take good care of me." And he says, "You know, I'll face the punishment when I get it, I guess." But that was a pretty good trick to pull. And so he got a little bit of trouble about it, but not too terrible bad. And if you see him out and about around Russellville, you might kid him about it sometimes, but he's a pretty sharp guy, and still is, and just tremendous, tremendous son that we love so dearly. But that's one of the things he pulled on us. And here comes my dog. Thank you, baby. Thank you for helping me. Thank you. But I hope you enjoyed that. That's about Scotty. Don't forget, you know, we love shares and likes and comments, and but you know, subscribers. If you think you enjoy my content on this channel, I hope that you will subscribe so you'll get more videos in the future. God bless you. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.